very much, Chioma, for welcoming me to the stage and you giving me a job promotion. The title is manager, but I'm very glad to be director for one, for 1 or 30 minutes. I understand that Ojoma is going to give us a presentation before we go into sort of the discussion. And I think just in the interest of time, it will be very good if we listen to Ojoma. I'm going to ask very brief questions of our guests, and then we'll throw it open to the floor for questions and comments. But if you're going to make a comment, don't make it one of those Nigerian comments with sort of sub-clauses and lots of different levels. Just one comment or one question. Okay, but shall we just go to Ojoma straight away?
Thank you. Do you mind if I sit? No, I'll sit regardless. Okay, so sorry that I'm the only Efiko that brought a presentation. I had just a few slides. It's not really a presentation. I think it's more a few thoughts as a sort of provocation to get us started on talking about it. Is there a clicker? Thank you. Right, so the topic that they asked me to speak about was social media and creativity, threat or opportunity, as Chioma said. And I thought I'd start, we all know obviously what the creative economy is. I won't do that thing and do all the definitions. So going straight into it, I thought, it's the networking, stupid. Like, it's the opportunity. That is the opportunity. The fact that social media is about networking, is about communities, is about opportunities, it's about friends of friends, is about, all the opportunity that the internet presents. So in that sense, social media, digital media is certainly an opportunity for the creative economy. And a few more thoughts around that. With social media, obviously the world is your market, because then it means that the previous walls around what was possible in terms of who your audiences were, who your markets were, are no longer now existent. So social media breaks down those barriers and those gatekeepers that ordinarily would keep people out. It provides a level playing field because now there are no gatekeepers. There's nobody to say this work is good or this is bad or this is creative or this is not. And so it almost gives everybody an equal fighting chance in theory. Also, obviously, social media, digital media gives us information, inspiration, and I'm sure nobody here does that, but of course, we go on the internet and copy things. So in that sense, it is an opportunity for that sector. And I thought this slide sort of summarizes everything that the opportunity of social media is for the creative economy. Across the value chain, obviously in production, with social and digital media, it means that now those gatekeepers and those professionals that would determine the taste and the preferences are now have less and less power, if you like, to regulate or curate what people have access to. But also in the creation of things, the concentration of power is now shifting more and more to the creator than to the distributor. But also, it means that people can bypass the traditional means. Nollywood obviously is a typical example of that. Like, love it or hate it, it has an audience that has only been made possible because of digital and, to some extent, social media. So that's the sort of thing that I think presents the opportunity for that sector. But also distribution. Distribution is an interesting one, I think, because in Nigeria, we have a particular problem where everybody says that distribution is the problem of the creative economy. And I would argue that yes, to some extent, but there are also other things that contribute to the problem. But certainly the social media and digital media provide an opportunity in that regard. So those are the general opportunities. I think it broadens the market, it breaks down the walls, it removes the need for a gatekeeper. But interestingly, I think that the very opportunities that social media presents for the creative economy are the threats to the creative economy. So I have the exact same slides for threats because it's the same thing. So bad reviews on social media sites can wreck a business. I remember in July, I think, of 2014, Comcast, some disgruntled Comcast customer made a video and put it on YouTube that got 14 million views. That was a big deal, right? So it's the networking, the very networking that's an opportunity is the very thing that's also a threat. Because for a small business, a bad review that goes viral is almost certainly going to affect your bottom line significantly. Same thing, the world is your stage, but the world is my stage. The world is the stage for the remaining 6.99999 billion of us. And so we're all competing for the mind share of our audiences. So that same opportunity that has given to one creative person is the same opportunity to everybody. So now in Nigeria, you're not just competing with other creative voices from Nigeria. In theory, you're competing with creative voices from all over the world because we have access to them and they have access to us. So the same thing that was an opportunity in terms of breaking down walls means also that there are people in your space competing with you who otherwise would not have. Level playing field, I said, see previous slide, is the exact same thing. Everybody now has a fair chance, and so there aren't the opportunities, if you like, that might have put some people ahead of the others. And I keep saying in theory, because in some cases, obviously there are exceptions that prove the rule, and I'm sure that we all have examples of those kinds of things, but generally speaking. Right, I talked about piracy, imitation, illegal copying, all those things. I was reading a report some weeks ago that in the UK, 2,000 adults were polled, and the aim of the research was to work out if people could tell the difference between legal and pirate sites for content. And 98% of the 2,000 people polled were fooled into thinking that at least one pirate site was a legal site for content. So you're working hard, investing in creating all your creative content and putting it on the internet and breaking all the barriers, but then those barriers are so barrierless that anyone can copy them and put them anywhere for free. But it's the same thing. So things like production, everybody can create stuff, so everybody does. And so we're inundated. And because now there are no gatekeepers, we're just inundated with stuff. And I suppose the supply then means that the value in many cases, that you can place on your intellectual property goes lower and lower and lower, because if you're not giving it for free, there's somebody else who will, right? So I think those very things that provide an opportunity also threaten the very existence of the creative economy. In conclusion, social media and creativity, threat or opportunity, right back where we started. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ejoma.